Welcome back, YouTube fan. Today, we're diving deep into the mysterious world of conspiracy theories. While many are often dismissed as wild speculation, some have actually turned out to be true, unveiling shocking revelations that once seemed too unbelievable to be real. Get ready to be intrigued and maybe a little disturbed as we explore conspiracy theories that turned out to be true. Buckle up, hit that like button, and let's unravel the hidden truths together. Number 1. Operation Northwoods, 1962. Operation Northwoods was a proposed series of false flag operations that were put forward by the U.S. Department of Defense in 1962. The plan was presented during the Kennedy administration as a means to generate public support for a war against Cuba, then led by Fidel Castro. The early 1960s were marked by heightened tensions between the United States and Cuba, with the U.S. government expressing concerns about the influence of communism in the Western Hemisphere. The plan proposed various covert and deceptive actions, including acts of terrorism, to be carried out by the U.S. government, but made to look like the work of Cuban agents. The intention was to create a justification for military intervention in Cuba. Operation Northwoods included specific proposals, such as hijacking planes, committing acts of terrorism against U.S. citizens, sinking boats carrying Cuban refugees, and orchestrating violent incidents in U.S. cities, all with the goal of blaming Cuba and creating a pretext for war. Fortunately, Operation Northwoods was never implemented. President John F. Kennedy and his top advisors, including Secretary of Defense Robert McNamara, rejected the extreme and ethically questionable proposals. Kennedy was reportedly shocked by the suggestions and the potential consequences they could have on both domestic and international perceptions. The existence of Operation Northwoods was largely unknown to the public until 1997, when the John F. Kennedy Assassination Records Review Board declassified and released the documents related to the operation. Operation Northwoods is often cited in discussions about the lengths to which government agencies might go to achieve political or military objectives, even if those means involve deceptive and morally questionable tactics. Number 2. Counterintelligence Program, 1956 to 1971. Counterintelligence Program was a series of covert and often illegal projects conducted by the United States Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, aimed at surveilling. Was initiated in 1956 and continued until 1971. The program's primary targets were groups and individuals deemed to be subversive or radical, including civil rights leaders, feminist organizations, socialist groups, and anti-Vietnam War activists. It was officially launched by the FBI under the leadership of Director J. Edgar Hoover in 1956. Initially, its focus was on the Communist Party USA, but it later expanded to target various civil rights and leftist organizations. It targeted a wide range of groups and individuals, including the civil rights movement, the Black Power movement, feminist organizations, Puerto Rican independence activists, Native American activists, and socialist and communist organizations. The tactics employed included wiretaps, surveillance, spreading false rumors, creating dissension within targeted groups, harassment, and even using forged documents to sow confusion and mistrust among activists. Notable individuals and groups targeted by included Martin Luther King Jr., the Black Panther Party, the American Indian Movement, AIM, and the Socialist Workers' Party. Remained largely secret until March 8, 1971, when a group of activists calling themselves the Citizens Commission to investigate the FBI broke into an FBI office in Media, Pennsylvania, and stole documents that exposed the program. They then sent the documents to several newspapers. The revelations led to public outcry, congressional investigations, and hearings. In 1975, the Church Committee, a U.S. Senate committee chaired by Senator Frank Church, investigated the abuses of intelligence agencies, including COINTELPRO. In 1976, the U.S. Senate publicly acknowledged the existence of COINTELPRO and condemned the program's tactics. The FBI issued an official apology for its actions in 1977. Number 3. Tuskegee Syphilis Study, 1932 to 1972. The Tuskegee Syphilis study was a highly unethical and infamous clinical study conducted by the United States Public Health Service, USPHS, between 1932 and 1972. The study was originally designed to observe the natural progression of untreated syphilis in African American men. It involved 600 participants, 399 of whom had latent syphilis, and 201 who did not have the disease, used as a control group. Participants were not informed about the true nature of the study. Instead, they were told they were receiving free medical care, meals, and burial insurance in exchange for their participation. They were not informed about the potentially deadly consequences of untreated syphilis. Even after the discovery of penicillin as an effective treatment for syphilis in the mid-1940s, the participants were intentionally denied proper medical treatment. The researchers wanted to observe the long-term effects of the disease. The study spanned 40 years, from 1932 to 1972, during which time participants were left untreated and the disease progressed. This continued long after effective treatment was widely available. The Tuskegee Syphilis study became public knowledge in 1972 when a whistleblower, Peter Buxton, leaked information to the press. The story was later exposed by a newspaper reporter, leading to widespread public outrage and condemnation. Following public outcry, the study was halted in 1972. A class action lawsuit was filed on behalf of the participants, and the U.S. government reached a settlement in 1974, providing monetary compensation and medical benefits to the survivors and their families. In 1997, President Bill Clinton officially apologized on behalf of the U.S. government for the Tuskegee Syphilis study, acknowledging it as a gross violation of ethical standards. Number 4. Watergate, 1972 to 1974. The Watergate scandal is one of the most infamous political scandals in American history, involving the illegal activities of the Nixon administration and ultimately leading to the resignation of President Richard Nixon. On June 17, 1972, 5 men were arrested for breaking into the DNC headquarters at the Watergate office complex in Washington, D.C. The burglars were connected to President Richard Nixon's re-election campaign. Investigations revealed that the burglars had ties to the Committee to Re-elect the President, CRP, known as CREEP, and the Nixon administration. This suggested a possible connection between the break-in and high-level officials in the government. As investigations progressed, it became apparent that there was a systematic effort to cover up the involvement of the Nixon administration. This included the payment of hush money to the burglars and attempts to obstruct the FBI's investigation. The U.S. Senate convened the Senate Watergate Committee in 1973 to investigate the Watergate scandal. The hearings, led by Senators Sam Ervin and Howard Baker, uncovered evidence of widespread abuse of power and illegal activities within the Nixon administration. The existence of secret tape recordings made by President Nixon in the Oval Office became a focal point of the investigation. The tapes contained conversations that implicated Nixon in the cover-up and obstructive activities. Facing imminent impeachment and the likely loss of support in the Senate, Richard Nixon became the first U.S. president to resign from office on August 8, 1974. Vice President Gerald Ford succeeded him. In a controversial move, President Ford issued a full and unconditional pardon to Nixon on September 8, 1974, for any crimes he might have committed while in office. This decision drew criticism, but was intended to help the nation move past the Watergate scandal. Number 5. Iran-Contra Affair, 1985 to 1987. The Iran-Contra Affair was a political scandal that occurred during the second term of President Ronald Reagan's administration in the mid-1980s. In an effort to secure the release of several American hostages held by Hezbollah in Lebanon, high-ranking officials in the Reagan administration secretly arranged the sale of arms to Iran. Israel served as an intermediary in the transactions. The Reagan administration sought to provide military and financial support to the Contras, who were rebels fighting the Sandinista government in Nicaragua. Congress had prohibited such assistance through the Boland Amendment. The administration, led by National Security Council, NSC, staff member Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North, engaged in a series of covert operations that violated the Boland Amendment. These activities were kept secret from Congress and the public. The Iran Contra Affair was exposed in November 1986 when a Lebanese magazine revealed the arms sales to Iran. Subsequent investigations by the media and congressional committees uncovered the broader scope of the operation. And there you have it, folks. The rabbit hole of conspiracy theories runs deep, and sometimes reality proves stranger than fiction. If you enjoyed this eye-opening journey into the world of hidden truths, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, subscribe for more mind-bending content, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on our exploration of the unknown.